right now you're going to hear us rip Larry Scott, the now soon-to-be former commissioner of the Pac-12, in a monumental move and a shocking news dump on inauguration night.
It's a new day, baby.
It is a new day. It is a new day.
It's a new day.
The funny thing is, everybody made that comparison, Larry Scott to Donald Trump. And I don't think it's that far off.
Yeah.
Because Larry Scott's a guy, what do we know about Larry Scott? He is well paid. Right? He's the highest paid commissioner in all of college sports.
Yep.
Yet the Pac-12 has the worst media and streaming rights deal in all of professional or college sports.
Yep.
It's abysmal. The Pac-12 network, there's no other way to say it, has been an unequivocal failure. And I think you're seeing that because of the Pac-12 network's failure, you haven't had a team in the Final Four since 2017. Like the Pac-12 in college football, the Pac-12 in college basketball is irrelevant.
Yeah.
I mean, and when have you said that UCLA and Stanford are irrelevant in college basketball?
Yeah.
Right? We had seen USC taking big strides forward. You look at football, how is USC irrelevant on the national college football stage?
Yeah.
How is that possible? Yet they are. And teams like Washington that continue to fight, Oregon continues to fight, yet they come up just that much short. And why? It's things like TV deals that hurt recruiting. It's things like scheduling that Larry Scott is directly in charge of, where you wind up sending, in the best example I can come up with several years ago, USC, a playoff contender, in position to go to the college football playoff, then goes to Pullman, Washington on a Friday night in the snow to die.
I'm screwed.
Yeah. Why would you, if you're the Pac-12, why would you send your best brand, a team that I argue on a regular basis in USC, the USC football team is a perennial powerhouse. They always recruit. They always put guys in the NFL, yet they struggle to get on TV consistently because the Pac-12 TV deal blows. And I'll tell you this right now. Here's why this happened and why the Pac-12 presidents got together over the last month and decided it was time to do this. Because they're going to negotiate a media deal here coming up. And they're not going to allow Larry Scott to do the same thing he did last time.
Yeah.
And with all due respect, because I'll also say I know a ton of people who work at Pac-12 Network. Those are good people that are working hard. But when you don't have a streaming deal, when you don't have a digital platform that's distributed largely, when you don't want to get in bed with YouTube or YouTube TV or Hulu or Netflix or Amazon or look at Amazon. Amazon, whether it's Twitch or the NFL or Premier League Soccer, Amazon is in the sports streaming, the live sporting event streaming business. They wanted to get in bed with Pac-12. Pac-12 wouldn't do it. You've got to get a digital streaming partner that makes sense.
Yeah.
You've got to secure a TV deal. You're looking at the Big Ten and the SEC delivering $50 million a year per school just on their football TV deals. And I'm struggling to understand why the Pac-12 is not on that level.
Yeah, because Larry Scott's an awful leader. He's been an awful leader, and frankly, looking back and going off of his actions and the choices that he made, all he was in it for was money. Whether it was the the trips to Vegas, whether it was all these different events that they did, that he's got the top penthouse and the top hotel in the city, they paid unbelievable rent costs to be in downtown San Francisco when you could have easily been in the Valley paying a third of the cost. So you combine the business side of that with the idea that you don't have a TV deal, and it's no surprise that these teams and these schools, particularly in football, and obviously basketball applies to this, they're really struggling to recruit or do anything. I mean, how are you supposed to get upper echelon talent when you're competing with the SEC, who's got a major TV deal, who is all about media and streaming and all that stuff? They got all that that's easy for the SEC. They've got all the brands because they're able to recruit all the top talent. So when you wonder why, Alabama and LSU is on CBS on a national game on a Saturday, well, that's why, because they have a great TV deal. So yeah, USC should be a national powerhouse. Utah should be a national powerhouse, but they're not. And they hopefully, again, can't say this with all confidence yet because we got to see what they're going to do exactly.
Yep.
But hopefully this means the firing of Larry Scott should mean that now There is a light at the end of the tunnel. It's probably going to take 3-4 years for the Pac-12 to really get to this like next level as far as like talent and teams. But how great for college football would it be if you had, you'll have the SEC. Hopefully the ACC becomes a little bit more competitive instead of just Clemson's conference. And then you've got the Pac-12 out west that becomes competitive in the national conversation.
Well, and you're looking at a situation where the Pac-12 is going to negotiate media rights beginning in the 2024 season.
Yeah.
So that deal is going to happen here in the next year. Like if you understand how TV deals work, from 2021 to 2022, you're going to understand, hey, we have the SEC. We have, think about CBS's deal with SEC football that went away. If you think about those kinds of deals, and now you start to say to yourself, okay, well, how do these things work? Well, look at the national TV perspective. The SEC is always going to get the late game window, or it was on CBS.
Yeah.
But think about the way that has worked.
Is that up for negotiation right now?
I think it didn't. I think the SEC went to ESPN.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah.
But so let's just say, and I know you're looking it up, but let's just say the SEC did go to ESPN. Think about the Big Ten.
It did. ESPN and ABC.
Okay, great. So the SEC went to another premier brand in ESPN. Okay, that makes perfect sense.
10-year contract.
10 years worth of exposure on ESPN. What do we always talk about with BYU? They're on ESPN.
$300 million a year to the SEC.
It's insane, dude. Like, it's crazy. But that's the kind of money you need to run successful programs. So the SEC's got ESPN. Where's the Big Ten? They're on Fox, right? Big Ten Saturdays, right? So then where's the Pac-12? I don't know. I don't know.
And this is my point. If you look at where the Pac-12 is right now, they don't have a late game window. They were playing late games on Saturday nights when nobody was watching on the East Coast. You were kicking off. There were games.
After dark.
Yeah, they were kicking off games at 8 o'clock Pacific, which is 11 o'clock Eastern.
Yep.
Nobody's watching that game on the East Coast. So it hurts your opportunity, whether you want to own this or not. It hurts your opportunity to get into the college football playoff because 3/4 of that committee is going to be East Coast. And those guys are not going to watch your games. That was a big problem. So what was the solution there? Okay, well, let's have Pac-12 teams go play crazy road games in conference on Friday nights, late in the 8 o'clock kickoffs on Friday night.
Yeah.
Ridiculous idea. Okay, well, let's have 10. They're talking about 10 a.m. kickoffs Pacific time for Pac-12 games so that they could possibly get on national TV. You're asking an 18-year-old kid to be ready to play a college football game at 10 a.m. That's just not realistic, in my opinion. You are, and I think that what you said is exactly right. It's going to take a couple of years to find somebody to partner with and give you an attractive primetime window.
Yeah.
Because Fox has got the Big 12, which, by the way, the Big 12 is a much larger brand, in my opinion, than the Pac-12 is.
Yeah, how much is Texas getting on Fox?
Well, but Texas is making $45 million a year on their TV deal.
Yeah.
And if you look at the SEC, the SEC just went from a $55 million per year deal with CBS to a $300 million per year deal with ESPN, ABC.
And by the way, that tells you how valuable the SEC conference is.
It's incredible. And so what is the advantage that the SEC now has? They can recruit more aggressively. They can spend to recruit more because they can fly more. They can travel more. They can house more.
Is it more attractive to say you're on ESPN than it is on CBS? God.
Because mom can watch the game.
Yeah.
There is no question that if in this day and age, when everything's on a cell phone, and Larry Scott never comprehended this. It's on our YouTube channel, by the way. We interviewed Larry Scott.
Yeah.
Larry Scott never comprehended the idea that Pac-12 football and basketball has to be easily and readily available on every parent's cell phone.
Yeah.
Because that's how you get a kid from Tonga to come and play at USC because his mom on the island can watch the game on her cell phone.
Yep.
That's how you do it. When you're talking about, and I know I get a lot of flack every time I talk about this, but when you talk about inner city black kids that are poor, that don't have cable, that don't have ESPN, but what do they have? Every one of them's got a cell phone.
Yep.
And their mom's got a cell phone. And their dad's got a cell phone. And the kids on the block have cell phones.
And it's $10 to subscribe to ESPN.
They all have cell phones. So where are they going to be able to watch a game? On a cell phone, right? This is not a problem for a guy like, and I'm trying to think, like Porter Gustin here locally. Had a great run with the Browns this year. Should have gone to BYU, wound up at USC. His parents are never going to want to find his game.
Yeah.
Because they have cable, they have TV, they have laptops, they have internet.
Right.
Think about how many, and this is something I know we take for granted. We shouldn't. How many people in this country don't have access to internet?
Yeah.
It's
plenty.
it's more than you think, right? How many people, though, have access to cell phones?
Everybody.
Yeah, and I would argue more people have access to cell phones than they do internet. When you're poor and you're struggling to pay your mortgage or your rent,
Yeah.
you're going to keep your cell phone on. You're not going to keep your cable on.
Yep.
I mean, it's A plus B equals Larry Scott sucks at being a commissioner in the Pac-12, right? I mean, that's really what this comes down to.
Yeah.
So when you talk about recruiting, absolutely. When you are getting kids out of Los Angeles, out of the Miami, Florida area,
Right.
when you think, where do the best athletes in the country come from? They come from the South, traditionally the Southeast. Florida puts out speed, right? If you look at Illinois, Pennsylvania, Ohio, you get the best linemen out of there, right? Like there are regions per position. I don't know if a lot of people realize that or not. You get everything out of Texas, and you're getting dual threat quarterbacks. A lot of the best quarterbacks are coming out of Southern California right now. Like you have to travel. You have to have reach. When Nick Saban wants to go see a quarterback in L.A., he's going to L.A. to see a quarterback.
Yeah.
He's getting on a private jet. He's staying in a 5-star hotel. And he's going to roll up in a town car in front of that kid's house. That's how you recruit.
Yeah.
There's no question that Alabama is making a ton of money. They're only out recruiting people because of their television reach, their budgets.
And by the way, they win.
But they're only winning because they're out recruiting people.
But it's a vicious cycle.
It is, and that's what people don't understand. It's schools like Washington, which is, with all due respect to the Huskies, Washington's not the most attractive place to go and play. Seattle has weather issues. We all know that. If you look at Pullman, Washington, if you look at Corvallis, Oregon, right, where Oregon State is, these are not the most attractive markets.
Right.
You look at Salt Lake City, Utah. You're getting, why is Utah finally becoming a legitimate program? Because they're recruiting their asses off.
Yeah.
And they're developing guys. And what's more important, they're putting guys in the NFL.
Yeah.
What if every Utah game was on national TV?
Be a different conversation.
What if every Utah game, you didn't have to go searching through the Pac-12 network to figure out where it is, and is it on DirecTV?
I don't even get Pac-12 network, bro. That's the problem.
That's the issue. You don't have TV reach, and you don't have a mobile platform that's going to deliver those games to parents in two households.
Yeah.
What if Kyle Whittingham had that full array of reach? What if Kyle Whittingham, and I know this is going to be a ball buster for Ute fans, what if Kyle Whittingham had the same reach that Kalani Sitake did? Because we all know BYU has a great deal with ESPN. ESPN wants to re-sign BYU. BYU wants to re-sign with ESPN. BYU has their own in-house TV network, BYU TV, right? So anybody that goes to BYU, I'm telling you now, how do I listen to BYU games on the radio? Sirius XM.
Yep.
I listen to BYU radio on Sirius XM. Locally, they have a huge radio contract, obviously. But when you are Jamal Williams' mom in Los Angeles and you're not coming to the game, you need to know that you can watch your son play football. He's on ESPN, no problem.
Easy peasy.
Right? It's not hard to figure this out, man.
It's not rocket science.
It's why BYU continues to have reach. That's why they're able to recruit. That's why. Anyway, my point is, Larry Scott's a terrible commissioner, and this is finally the time where you have a situation where you can get yourself in just a position to compete.
Yeah, I mean, you're just trying to get into the meeting right now. You're not even sitting down at the table.
Yeah, I mean, that's really all this is.
Yeah.
You're just trying to get in the room.
But hey, we've been talking about this for what, 5 years now? right? I mean,
A long time. Too long.
You referenced that interview we have on the channel with Larry Scott, and in that interview, he talks about how he's going to do a media deal and a TV deal, and then it never happened.
Never happened.
And so, I don't remember the year that was. I think that was like 18 maybe or 17 maybe, somewhere
in Los
there.
Angeles at Pac-12 Media Days.
Yeah, and so, I just think about how long he's been commissioner, and you think about the compounding effect of like year over year over year over year of you not having a deal, of the schools not being able to recruit.
Jake, you'll never recover from that.
Yeah,
you'll never
it's
recoup that lost money.
It's kind of like what we said with the whole Kyrie thing. They're just starting over now. Now you got to find your new path. Now you got to find, okay, who's going to be our commissioner? How are we going to do this? Like we have to pave the way here. And that's tough.
At some point, you just got to start walking forward. And at some point, you're going to subscribe to us on YouTube because we're going to beat you over the head with it. Make sure you search The Monty Show, Monty, The Monty Show on YouTube to find the show. We're live every morning right around 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific. You can always catch the replays. And as I said, to start the show, if you're just tuning in, because I see a lot of people joining us late, if you're just tuning in, all of our highlights are in the playlist. You can look at The Monty Show highlights in our playlist. All of it is live every day on YouTube. Just search The Monty Show, Monty, The Monty Show.